Warning, if you're easily offended, triggered, or considered a snowflake by your friends, you're listening to the wrong podcast. The views and opinions you're about to hear are raw, unfiltered, and without any regard for political correctness.
I'm offended.
Shut up. Longtime friends Scott, Will, Devie, and Jay dive deep into issues that other podcasts are too scared to talk about.
No topic is off limits.
All opinions are welcome.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Unlike some other popular panel shows, you know what we're talking about. These four friends have no agenda other than to tell it like it is. This is The Big Divide.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to The Big Divide. I'm your host, Scott Rowe. We've got so many episodes in the book, I don't even know which episode it is. We are just rolling along. Listenership's increased 1,200% from when we started. So, we're rolling, baby. And one of the reasons we're rolling so well is because all my co-hosts, so let me do a quick round out there, little roll call. Is my Jewish friend on? Where's the old man?
I am right here, raring and ready to go.
And if you guys could picture it in your brain, the most interesting man in the world, I don't always do a podcast. When I do, I'm Jewish. He's covering the Jewish community over there.
That's me.
That's him. All right, how about my Puerto Rican friend? Is he out there?
Puerto Rican is in the house.
Puerto Ricans in the house. All right. And then finally, representing all black people on the planet today, Devie Robertson out of D.C.
That is me, man. I'm representing all black people on the planet. Is that what you say?
This show you are.
Okay. Yeah. We'll
take
it right. The pressure, Devie?
No pressure, dude.
Yeah,
Every black person on the planet is counting on you today.
Oh, my goodness. I got to keep my black card, man.
You afraid to lose it? What's going on there?
No, I can't lose it. No matter what.
You can't lose it?
Nah.
You know what? That's gonna be my new watch. I'm gonna be like, did Devie just lose his black card? I might take it away from you. You sound too white. And I'm your host. I'm the white dude on this whole thing. The idea behind The Big Divide was to bring some of my friends together from different cultures to talk about stuff and hash it out. But we all got different ideas. We come from all different backgrounds. If you want to hear where we're from, go back to the first show of The Big Divide. You can go to bigdivideshow.com, bigdivideshow.com, and check out the first episode. It was one of our best. We just kind of laid out where we're from, our backgrounds, the kind of neighborhoods we lived in, and then now we bring all that to these shows. Okay,
you've got mail.
We got a mailbag today. And I'm gonna let Willie, since you are, it's one of our best friends, has something in the mail. And he was like, we gotta bring it up, bro. We gotta. So he thinks it's important enough to make a whole topic out of it. I don't know if that's his topic or not, but you want to read that thing, bro?
Yeah, this is from Dan, okay? And Dan states, and Dan's a good friend of ours, okay, from Scott and I.
He's such a good friend. Let me just preface this. I have a $1,000 bet that Trump will be inaugurated January 20th over Biden, right? And I made this bet before the election, before the cheating went on and all the Dominion stuff and everything you're hearing about in the news. So, the two most popular people on the planet got all these votes. I don't believe it. So anyway, read the mail.
So he states, on Monday, several states had to close their house doors because of violent threats to the electoral process. Are these more likely Trump supporter threats or Biden supporter threats? And that's for all of us to answer. So I'll go first on this. And it was interesting that he bring this up, but I wish, Dan, you would have answered your own question because it's a setup question based on Dan. I go back 20 years, right? And I know what he believes, right? And this is an assumption. So I'm speaking on behalf of Daniel right now. He's saying it's Trump supporters, okay? So the house was closed down, and I believe, Dan, that it was Trump supporters, okay? But I'm not going to leave it there, okay? Because you're pointing out a specific point that you heard based on the media that you listened to. But throughout this election, after the election, there has been many, many threats out there, okay? And the media doesn't cover it. So I'll give you an example, Daniel. Cynthia Johnson, okay? How about her threats going on Facebook? And she is part of the legislature in Michigan and going out there threatening Trump supporters, she was taken down. But you know what? Isn't that a threat right there? How about the Trump supporters, his lawyers, the president's lawyers, okay, where the Lincoln Project revealed their names, their addresses, their telephone numbers, and telling the public to go out there and do harm to these individuals because they're fighting on behalf of Trump. I'm not for threats on either side, okay? This is an American process. And I say, you know what? Let transparency be. Something happened in this election, and we, the people, need to get to the core of it, down to the bottom of it. And when you have people getting to the bottom of it and they're threatening, they're being threatened, it's dangerous. How about the people that have filed affidavits, volunteered their time, or they got paid for their time, to be election officials, and they witness fraud on both sides of the aisles, and they're being threatened. So I'll give you another example. Monica Palmer, she was one of the Wayne County, Michigan board members, and she said that I can't go along with this. Her, along with William, and his last name is Hartman, and she received threats, right? She was put out there on Facebook, her address out there. This is dangerous charters, and America is at a divide. And being in this division, we got to realize that, we're all Americans, and all we want is the truth to come out. So let the process play out, and there shouldn't be any type of threats out there for any individual, in any individuals. That's my stance.
All right. Anybody else got an opinion on threats? I guess the question was, do you believe it was Biden threats or Trump threats?
Yeah, I'd like to weigh in on that.
Go for it.
I was looking at the question, and I love the way it was posed. On Monday, several states had to close their house doors. To my knowledge, Dan, the only state that did that was Michigan. And they did it based on credible threats of violence. And my best guess is those threats came from a Trump supporter or a group that supports Trump. However, I think this question stems from a topic that we were discussing recently. And I would emphasize, Dan, don't conflate this with the riots we were talking about a couple weeks ago. There were protests by Trump supporters, but there was no violence on the scale we saw over the summer. And the violence we saw in D.C. on Saturday, for example, was between two groups, Antifa and the Proud Boys. And the altercations took place hours after the protest rally ended. So you can't make any direct connection to the rally itself. Now, I've read conflicting reports about who instigated the violence on Saturday, but pro-Trump protests and rallies are overwhelmingly nonviolent and can't be reasonably compared to the riots last summer. And I think that's where your question's coming from. So thanks for the question, but that's where I weigh in.
Jay, thank you very much. You hit it right on the money. I love the way you put that out there.
Thank you, Will.
For all the black people on the planet, Devie, go for it.
All right. So Dan, again, appreciate your question. So I would go lean more towards that it was Trump supporters, likely if we're talking about because of the electoral process, because it's not in their favor. So I would think it would be the Trump supporters. We heard some things here in D.C. about, groups coming to protest with weapons, So, they were putting out, hey, don't get involved, don't entangle with these folks. So, you got, and they're supporting Trump. So you got to kind of lean towards that. The threats were real, and they're out there for their guy. So I don't know why you need guns and things to protest, but that's their thing. So yeah, I agree that it would be more Trump supporters.
And my choice would be idiot. Any idiot that threatens another person or another human on the planet is an idiot. So that's my. I don't know if it's. I don't care if it's Trump or Biden supporters. Anybody that destroys another person's business, stops somebody from getting to work and making a livelihood. I mean, that you're violating freedom of movement, right? You're violating somebody's your fear level, like, hey, and we see it all the time. We hear about it all the time. I mean, there's a lot of folks that are coming out for the elections, the fraud or whatever. I mean, they want to, if you don't like what somebody's about to say publicly, you threaten them, right? We see a lot of podcasters these days, like a Ben Shapiro going to like a Berkeley to speak, and they won't let him get into the building, won't let him say what he wants to say, trying to suppress the free speech. And that's really what it is. It's anybody that's willing to threaten somebody else's movement and or speech or ideas is really an idiot in my view. That's all. Yeah. You can have an opinion. That's okay. But when you start interfering with other people's lives and infringing upon their freedoms, I got a problem with that. All right, good question. We got one more question I want to address, and let's do this quick because we still got to get this. We got a speed round today. We got adding stuff to the show today if we can get to it. So we got a speed round planned. We got the timers and the bells. So let's do one more question. Do you got the question up, Jay, or do you want me to read it? I got it up right here.
I have it, and I'm ready to go. So
okay, there are actually 3 questions, right?
Yeah, they're connected.
It's about the same thing. Go ahead. Hit it.
Okay, so Laura writes in. Thank you, Laura, for writing in. She says, forget about your personal stance on abortion. We agree that that's a touchy subject. Do you believe the government should have a say over what you do with your body? Does this apply only to women, or should it extend to men? And where should the line be drawn? Only apply to women or to everybody? And here's my thought on this, Laura. Generally speaking, I say no. Government should not have a say over what we do with our bodies. However, there are some obvious exceptions to this. In particular, government should intercede when third parties are adversely affected by the actions of individuals, specifically the safety and impingement of third-party rights. Abortion definitely falls into that category. There should be no special rights conferred upon women, blacks, gays, pick your group, I don't care. Rights are conferred upon persons and or citizens. And last, I think the question of how government intercedes in this arena should be uniform across all groups. As I stated earlier, there should only be government intervention when the safety and rights of third parties are involved. And when intervention is appropriate, no special treatment for any particular group.
Listen, I'm a libertarian in this arena. Look, I'm not going to tell you what to think or what to do. If you want to do what you want to do, it's your choice. You want to smoke your brains into a crack coma. That was your choice. Does that make sense to do that? I'm not infringing. Just don't get in my way. That's where I'm at in this in the game of the United States, the liberties game. So yeah, listen. You can do what you want to do. I don't think government should tell you what you should or should not do with your choices. Now, I understand that drug use and alcohol use should be regulated, right? Because putting yourself out there intoxicated on a road is now infringing upon other people driving the other way. So obviously, there's got to be some rules around indulgence around that idea. Of any idea. And again, I think like Jay said, third party, if it's affecting a third party, which is what somebody could do if they're intoxicated on a road, right? Should definitely be regulated. Yeah, for sure. But if for some reasons, if you're doing whatever you're doing in your house, I don't care. It's not affecting my family or my house. Does that make sense? Unless I care about you and you've got a problem habitually with that, do I think that plenty of people do get addicted and maybe should seek help? Absolutely. But hopefully they have people in their lives that are intervening in that capacity. But again, I'm a choice guy.
Yeah, people, not government.
I'm a choice guy.
I weigh in. I like this one. And I just believe that when it comes to making choices about your own personal body, the government shouldn't have any say so. So that includes abortion. So I just find it interesting that most Republicans are against abortion, but they don't want to support, hey, the government actually providing any support or anything for that. So that's a little tricky for me. I just believe, hey, yeah, if a woman wants to make a choice on her own body for whatever reason, let her do it. In terms of when she mentioned abortion in this question, but I finally agree with Scott on something. If you want if you want to smoke your brains out, then go ahead. As long as that doesn't affect me, or you want to drink yourself into a coma, just do it in the comforts of where you're at. Don't get behind the wheel, and then now you're affecting everybody else. So if you want, whatever people want to do with their bodies, I think the government should stay out of it, with the exception of the laws that we have when we're talking about DUI or anything like that. So, and I don't think we should ever start separating women from men when it comes to choices. I think that's been one of the problems that we're talking about, where women always have to follow a different set of rules than us guys. So, yeah, I think they should be able to choose.
So Devie agrees with Scott. Do we have a sound effect for that?
Well, yeah. Get something like that.
Yeah, there we go.
Won't happen.
And the crowd cheers.
Yeah.
For me, I'm for choice, and I'm against infanticide. Though, once that baby is born, that you can terminate that baby. That's not me. That's not me. And they're passing laws on this. In Virginia, New York has passed that law. That's a no, right? And I think there's a lot of taking precautions, right? Adoption, birth controls. You got to take precautions. That's the one thing. But choice, a woman has a right to do what she wants to do with her doctor. And the one thing, when it comes to men and women, isn't that what's going on right now with this COVID situation? Government interfered, and with medications, hydroxychloroquine, it works. Now the FDA has once again changed their mind. It does work. It doesn't do no harm.
Yeah, right.
They're playing with our lives. Stop playing with our lives, right? And if you have pneumonia, you can go to the hospital, get treated. If you got COVID, you can't go to the hospital and get treated. It's crazy, so stop playing with us. Keep politics out of medicine, and let the doctor do the person's job in order to treat the patient. That's where I'm at.
Ding. All right, good stuff. All right, thanks for the mailbag. And listen, Laura, I guess there's a back question right there. All right, so you brought up the abortion stuff. So since you're listening, what about wearing a mask, right? So if can the government tell me to do with my body what you see happening these days, right? Okay, so there you go. All right, so now it's round time. Here we go. And again, when you hear these sounds during the rounds, so within 1 minute, you're going to hear this bell, the dinner bell. And then when the round is over, no matter how bloody somebody is, we're going back to our corners to hit our cut men. You'll hear this sound. And a boxing bell. All right. Okay, so topics going around. I'm gonna go with age before beauty. So Jay, why don't you start us off with the topic this week? Willie started last week. You did this week. Hit it, baby.
I'd love to, and I'm gonna resist the urge to talk politics again, even though it's still relevant. That's
got to be hard for you to do.
It is right now, but I'm doing it. So here's the setup. On August of this year, 2020, the Department of Defense approved the establishment of an unidentified aerial phenomenon task force, UAPTF, and the Navy's going to lead the task force. Nice. By the way, what was wrong with UFO? And, here's government involvement. I got political. All right. So the Department of Defense established this UAPTF.
What does that stand for? What does that stand for?
Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force.
Okay,
that's the name
of the task force. The term UFO still applies because
no. Instead of UFOs, they want to do UAP, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, which is entirely different than UFO. Never mind. Don't get me started. All right.
It's not an object anymore. It could be just a trick of. It could be a cloud and sun trick now. Right.
Yeah,
it could
UFO
be.
Is
okay. All right. I hadn't thought of that, so maybe that's where we're going with it.
Okay.
So the Department of Defense establishes this task force to improve its understanding of and gain insight into the nature and origins of UFOs. I'm going to call them UFOs. The mission is to detect, analyze, and catalog UAPs or UFOs that could potentially pose a threat to U.S. national security. I get it. I love it. Now, as the DoD has stated previously, the safety of our personnel and the security of our operations are paramount in our concerns. The DoD takes any incursions by unauthorized aircraft into our training ranges or designated airspace very seriously, and we examine each report. This includes examinations of incursions that are initially reported as UAP when the observer cannot immediately identify what he or she is observing. Now, President Trump has dropped some hints that he had been made aware of some very interesting things recently, like back in the summer, specifically related to the Roswell incident in 1947. But he told his son, Don Jr., that he couldn't discuss that with Don Jr. President Bush, that would be W, hinted at similar information that he'd been briefed on, and President Clinton tried to uncover some highly classified information back in the mid-90s. Nobody in current positions of authority have said that we're being observed or are working with alien beings. There's plenty of that out there on the internet, but nobody in current authority. But there's so much speculation. So, do you believe there are intelligent life elsewhere in the universe? And do you believe we're being visited by an intelligent alien culture?
I'm going to weigh in. I'm going to say this first.
I wanted to go.
Sasquatch is not considered intelligent.
Hold on a second. Depends on who you're asking, actually.
All right. Okay.
All right. So here we go. So the only reason that I would ever want to be elected president, the minute I could see the fabled national security book, the only reason,
show me the gray man.
The only reason that I would ever deal with a campaign, all the slings and arrows I would take, the baits I got to deal with, is to get into office to see the classified stuff on aliens, the government cover-ups on Sasquatch,
the Kennedy assassination.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. What really happened with the towers, man.
So, Mr. Rowe, what are you promising for the people of America?
I'll be like, hey, I'll probably get voted in. I'm like, hey, listen, vote me in. I'll let everybody know what's going on with the aliens. That would be every answer in a debate. I'll be like, now listen, Scott Rowe, what's your stance on China? Let me tell you what I think. If you vote me in, everybody's going to know about aliens. That's it, dude. That is it. I'm so into the unexplained stuff. I cannot help it. In fact, one of my favorite shows, when Willie comes over to my house, I got like the paranormal caught on tape recording. I'm like, well, let's just watch this stuff all day.
Oh man, I watch it, but I don't record it. So, but you didn't say, do you believe there's intelligent life in the universe? I think you do. And do you think they're here? Are they here?
If you don't think there's intelligent life in the universe, we're talking about galaxies, right?
Yeah.
There are more galaxies in the universe than grains of sand on the earth.
Yep.
So the law of averages, to be arrogant enough to think that you could not have life on other planets is crazy.
Are they here?
Oh, totally, bro. I mean, you're talking totally, absolutely here. I mean, in
Nancy
fact,
Pelosi, the Clintons, Obama.
They're all reptilians. All reptilians, bro.
There you go.
Now we're going Men in Black.
Dude, listen. When you are indulging this stuff as much as I have indulged in this stuff over the years, and it's funny because I'm a big, I listen to Sasquatch everything, right? And, there is a movie, if you want to watch it, called Discovering Sasquatch. Go to Netflix, Discovering Sasquatch. Todd Standing, who was a special forces kind of guy, went up to Canada, hung out in the woods for months like a special forces guy would in a ghillie suit, and got him on tape. But, somebody's like, oh, it's made up. It's a guy in a suit. But there are some facial expressions that you see in these recorded videos that he made you'd have to question. And again, I'm a believer. I'm not a knower. I've never shaken hands or seen one myself personally, but I'm definitely a believer with all the evidence of dermal ridges and on the feet and everything else. And I know I'm talking Sasquatch versus aliens, but it's all the same game, right? Like what's out there and who's not telling us something about it, right? But now the Israeli officials, like you talked about, are acknowledging that there is actually aliens that have visited.
They're actually saying that we're working with them.
There you go.
I know.
And that's the Israeli government saying that.
I know.
Right? Look, you're laughing. You're laughing. You're like, I know they're saying it. And listen, the minute that we realize, here's the problem. The minute that we realize that we're not on the hierarchy, right? Like we're not the king of the food chain, and there may be an alien out there that could actually disintegrate a Devie with a ray gun. Right? That's when
I would be on their side.
All right,
they would be on my side. They would be on my side. They would.
When you say on your side, I don't understand. They're going to put you in a jar and they're going to put you on a whatever. Whatever. They're going to get that anal probe out.
So look, I so want to disagree with you, Scott. I so want to. This is the big divide for a reason. I want to disagree.
No, it's a big divide so that we could actually come together around divides. But go ahead. You got 1 minute, bro.
Man, so I do believe that there are life out there outside of us, man. That there's you can't tell me, like what you say, there's galaxies upon galaxies around here. So why would we be just the only ones? And I know I've heard Christian sets say, oh, God made the big universe and all this stuff for just for us and put us on this one planet, and all these other things are none and void. I don't believe that. I believe there's other life, and they're probably having the same questions that we're having. Is there other life out there? Now, are they here and working with us? I don't know. I don't believe they're here. Because they're able to get to us and we're not able to get to them. That's where I kind of draw the line. But I do believe that Sasquatch is real.
It's just a matter of technology, right? I mean, how many years you have to develop that technology? Maybe they're more advanced than we are. All right, good stuff. And next week, make a note, because I could add upon that to, if the dinosaurs wouldn't have died out from an asteroid, where would they have been developmentally wise, right? Intelligence is so good. Such a good topic. Good job, Jay.
Thank you.
Man,
that was fun.
Devie, did you get a topic yet? Did you grow one while you're on the call here? Or do you want me to switch over and
No, I'll let you go ahead, Scott.
Okay, so this week you're a no-go on the topics, right?
I'm a no-go.
Okay, then I'm going to pull in two topics, because I had two. I was going to diss one, but I'm going to lend you a topic. How's that sound?
All right, I appreciate
I'm going to lend Devie a topic. All right. So, Mr. Producer, can you do us a favor and play the first clip? This is Devie's official topic today. I'm handing it to him. Hit it.
So Joe Biden shares his office with a Chinese communist for 3 years. So for 3 years, he puts the key in the door, he opens the door, and he walks past a Chinese guy's office, and the nameplate says something Dong is the guy's name. And then he just walks to his office and closes the door and sits down. Hey, Hunter, who's the Chinese guy named Dong we're sharing an office with? Oh, nobody, Dad. He's a Chinese communist. He represents the ExxonMobil of China. Don't worry about it. We're going to hold 10 for you. I mean, how has a reporter not asked Joe, hey, Joe, did you ever go to your office? And while you were there, did you see Dong? That would seem like a pretty relevant question, besides the question which someone still has not asked, have you ever met Tony B? So let me get this straight, Joe. We have Hunter Biden, son of the president-elect now, I guess you have to call him. He goes over to a foreign country, brings home $500,000, hides it from the IRS, spends it on escorts instead, then gets pregnant at an escort at a dancer. And then when she says, can you pay me some child support? He says, no, I'm broke, and he fights it. This makes Don Jr. look like an angel. Don Jr. turned over everything. I mean, he sat for hours of deposition, handed over thousands of documents, and Hunter and his uncle, James, are stiff-arming congressional investigators. And Joe, meanwhile, says, I never talked to Hunter about business. He wasn't making any money in China. Everything was clean in Ukraine, and this was all Russia disinformation. All of that was a lie. Greg, who would have thought a lifelong politician with a history of plagiarism and family grifting could be so dishonest?
Devie, I'm very surprised you brought that clip to this show of your topic.
So am I.
I knew you would be proud, man. I knew you would be proud.
I'm very proud. Okay, so I guess I'm going to just sum this up by saying, all right, that is a tale of two different tapes when it comes to the media, right? Don Jr. was a Russian agent. Trump was a Russian agent, right? Like they're all bad, like this corrupt family. And they were on him 24/7, every news channel, right? And today, nobody's covering. That happened to be Jesse Waters from Fox on the Gutfield show, by the way, to give credit. But
that That was on the 5, actually.
On the 5, yeah, on the Fox channel, Fox 5, right? Okay. Anyway, so, but am I wrong? Am I wrong to be outraged over the way that things are covered in America? Am I wrong?
No.
Man, you're on a roll with me today, Scott. Dang it. I agree with you, man.
Oh, man.
Wow.
That's 3 for 3.
That's 3 for 3.
Today's the last day of go home and kiss all your family because the asteroid is about to hit.
It's about to hit.
Go ahead,
because what I have observed, man, just is you're right. Because when this whole thing with Trump and his family being associated with Russia, the media was all over it. He's in bed with them. Look at his wife. She's all this. I mean, they were killing it. The whole family is all in with Russia. This stuff come up with Hunter Biden, and you barely hearing anything about it, or it's people are saying, "Oh, it's a distraction. It's a distraction." Now, y'all know me. I believe they're all crooked. So I'm not on either one of their sides. And I think there's some things that need to be talked about with Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, his involvement, because the guy's not all clean. I believe Trump had some dealings there, and I believe that Joe Biden had some dealings with this, and the media should be covering it. I just believe they should.
Anybody else?
The American people deserve it.
I'll go next. Thank God for Donald J. Trump, okay, because he exposed media. I had turned a blind eye. Millions of people have turned a blind eye. We've known this is going on for many years, but it's the D.C. elites, right, on both sides, Republicans and the Democrats. And it's been going on for a long, long time. And here comes Donald J. Trump out of his private life.
Bowling ball in the washing machine, the big disruptor.
And the big disruptor. And he disrupted everything. And he's shown the light on everyone. And on Newsmax, there was a poll, and 65% of the public do not trust media. Right? And that says a lot right there and then. And they report what they want to report, and they don't care anything about the American public at all. And it's the same DC elite reporters, right? CNN, MSNBC, it's about what they're putting out there, and they're high and mighty, and they believe that they rule the world. And that's the way they're supposed to be, and that's the way they act. But the American people are waking up on both sides. It's nice to hear Devie agree with Scott and say, you know what? I agree because something's got to be done. And this has got to change, right? This has got to change. The censorship, big tech, it's all BS. It's all BS. And I just say, thank God for that bowling ball in that machine, because he's bringing it to light, and people are starting to wake up.
I just believe it was happening before Trump. Trump just, sure. I just feel like he put it on because it was about him. It wasn't about because media was hiding a lot of other stuff. It's because they just wasn't on his side. And it was, so that's where I just differ from that. But
I think they've become far more blatant under Trump. I've never seen it this blatant in my entire life. There's always been the bias, Devie, but it's never been this out in the open. And it's like you're holding up a green card and the press says, it's red, it's red, it's red.
Right.
That's what it's like. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. I want to throw out here, I saw that segment live when it aired, and Juan Williams, I can't help it. I'm sentimental. I like the guy. I think he's a decent human being, but his response to Jesse was Biden probably never went to the office.
Right.
And that's how the press chooses to look at it.
And listen, that was the only thing he said about that whole thing that Jesse said. Then he went to, let's talk about Trump, right? Biden probably never went to the office, never met those people, never went to the office. And then
can I say two other things about Jesse, too?
Go ahead.
Yeah, because I like Jesse. He's maturing. He used to be what I would call a flamethrower. He was kind of reckless in the way he would set something up. He was very responsible with this. He did it well. But have you also noticed his mannerisms, the way he's moving his hands, the way he speaks? Does it remind you of anybody? Anyone?
No.
Bill O'Reilly. It's like a new Bill O'Reilly being born. Yeah.
And he is good, dude. I like Jesse.
He's really coming along well.
Into
yes,
his
he
own
is.
For sure.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
All right.
Sounds
Well,
like
that's
me
my
on the show.
Hey, listen, ding, ding, ding. We're done. I'm done with that topic. So we can actually start off on, there it is, baby. All right. So, Will, hit it, baby.
Well, I went with the Michigan. I'll let you take part two.
You're saying that the Michigan thing was your topic with Dan?
I wanted to bring that up, and I did talk about that. But
cool.
Right?
Cool.
We'll go with that. Go ahead.
Good. I got look, I really prepared for this one. I got 10 things for lightning round, and I got another clip. All right, so here's my official clip. So play that second one there, Tristan.
Pollsters Richard Barris, Patrick Basham, and others have documented how Biden underperformed in every single municipality throughout the nation in comparison with 2016 election. He underperformed in every single municipality for the exception of 4: Milwaukee, Detroit, Philadelphia, and Atlanta. Coincidentally, the very states he needed in order to win the election. Moreover, Biden did not merely outperform in those 4 municipalities, he superperformed. He supererrogated in a manner completely inconsistent with how he performed in any other municipality. Biden won a record low of only 17% of counties. He barely won 524 counties. That's opposed to the 873 counties Obama won 2008. And yet, somehow Biden outperformed Obama in the total number of votes. Moreover, I'm sure you know that Trump won 16 of the 17 bellwether counties that have determined the winner of every general election since 1984. And he won them by an average of 16 points.
So what I'm trying to get across in this part of the show is I've since the election, I've been about math because that's what I'm about. Like you can't go against statistics. There's always a law of average in play, right? Math is math. And everybody that says, Biden won. I'm like, are you sure? I mean, the dude won the least amount of counties ever in a historical, and no president has won less counties than Biden and ended up president, right? This is historical low as far as counties. Yet on the other side of the spectrum, he had more votes than any other president elected in the United States. And just on that note as well, Donald Trump won more votes than any other president elected in the United States. So we're talking about more votes than anybody else. Is that good evidence to go, we should probably check in on that, right? And then they go, and then here's the thing. You go to check in, they're like, all right, can we see all the ballots and the envelopes? Oh, we shredded them and we burned them. I mean, I'm glad that there was some Senate hearings on this stuff yesterday. I think it was yesterday, as this show is being recorded. Because I thought with as much as the media handles it and my friends on Facebook are like, oh, get over it. He won. Like that's all they want to say. That they don't even want to engage on the math for me. And my brain needs that engagement. Like I need to go, how could that have happened? This guy won less counties than anybody else, yet got more votes than everybody else. And the more votes came from 5 counties, which actually stopped counting in the middle of the night, got ballot drops between 3 and 4 a.m. of hundreds of thousands of votes, right, in the same 4 counties. Subsequently, the same 5 counties that Mark Zuckerberg put $400 million into to create drop boxes, hire the officials that he wanted. Crazy stuff. But I don't know. You guys want to weigh in on this stuff? I'm a little frustrated with people telling me to shut up and deal with it. Versus I'm like, well, let's deal with some math. No, don't worry about it. He got more votes. Anybody else?
The more they tell me to shut up about it, is the more convinced I am that the whole thing is BS. And I will weigh in on this. I'm so disappointed in the Supreme Court. I think they demonstrated an unbelievable lack of courage in taking up the case of Texas versus the 4 swing states. And I get why they didn't want to do it. I understand it.
But that's a human thing, Jay. They shouldn't. I don't want to do it, but you know what? The Supreme Court justice in me says I have to because I got to put on a blindfold and I got to hold out the scales.
Exactly. I sat here a week ago and I said they have to look at it. I looked at the legal aspects of it, and I didn't see a way that they couldn't look at it.
Right.
And it ties into what you're talking about with the stats, because any intelligent human being, and all 9 of them sitting on the Supreme Court bench are intelligent, highly intelligent. They see the same stuff we see, and they know it doesn't smell right. Why didn't they take that up?
And you know what? I'm glad. Here's what I'm glad. I had to be honest with you, I check in with Willie. I mean, you could hear him reading off of his notebook as he's doing the show. But I check in. Will, how you feeling about the election? I need a pep talk sometimes. Like, you think we got a shot? Ro, you got to stick with it. So he's that guy I go to every night. I'm like, what's the news, dude? How are we still feeling about it? He's like, we're going to win. I had a dream.
You guys saw me in the messenger thread after that Supreme Court case was denied.
Sure, you were down and out, right? We're all down.
Oh my goodness. It's because it appears that Trump won't sit as president. That's not definite, by the way, but it appears that way. That wasn't the reason. The reason was I felt like our entire foundation as a nation is being thrown overboard. I mean that very sincerely.
The curtain, I'm going to go with a Jesus reference right here. The curtain ripped. The curtain ripped when the Supreme Court wouldn't take it up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this to everyone, each one of you all.
Yeah, go.
Now you know what it feels to be Black in America when you're told to shut up and just deal with it. So congratulations, guys. For a minute, you know what it's like to be Black in America.
What does that mean?
Oh, there we go. I love it.
Hey, Devie, do you know that I am...
You better hear... Listen, man, the Hispanic guy's coming after you. I love when the two minorities actually fight it out.
Yeah, but I want to know what that means, right? Devie, what does that mean?
It's exactly what I said. When you're told to, hey, just deal with stuff, or, hey, shut up, be quiet. This is the way it is. This is where it's going to be.
So who has told you to be quiet?
Yeah, but apply it to something. Like, give me an example. Right? I'm applying it to the election. Apply to something.
Give us
an example.
Thank you. Like housing. You can't live in this neighborhood. You can't do this and that kind of stuff. You know, the redlining and all that kind of stuff back there.
Who's telling you that?
Y'all know redlining was real. All that stuff was real.
We don't know that. Just like we don't
know. Give us a direct
like we don't know
example.
Aliens are real for sure. You may believe something, but to know it, you'd have to show documentation. You'd have to show a law that says, "Yep, when somebody like this skin color walks into the bank, we know what to do." Right? Show me give me a video like they had of the people putting up stuff in front of the windows.
And that's what I'm going to provide for y'all next week, because that's exactly what I want. That was going to be my topic.
Fantastic.
I think we know that redlining happened, but I don't think it's going on out there today. Not in any sizable way.
I'm going to save it for my topic next week.
I completely believe that redlining has happened, right? Because you cannot, racism exists, right? But I'm hoping next week when you bring that topic, Deves, because I want somebody to show me where systemic racism, like the system is racist, right? So, there's the laws. I mean, it was, don't get me wrong, man. Jim Crow, slavery, that is all bad stuff. And those were laws. But we've had this conversation before on the show. We've come a long way to now. And a lot of people want to tell me that America is worse today than it was ever in history. We're worse now than ever before. We're not. So bring it next week. I'm interested in that topic for sure. That should be good.
Okay, I'm going to go. I know the bell rang, but I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue on this topic right here, Scott. But for me, when it comes to the election, and we all know that fraud happened, 70 plus million people, are saying what happened, right? And we got to come up with the proof on what the Democrats did, without even being there. But we know that, dead people have voted, the mail-in ballots, illegal citizens here or non-citizens here voted, should I say. And I got to give kudos to the Democrats, because they're hustlers. And they hustled their way in, and they did it in the big major cities. And the Republicans are standing by and saying, here we are getting screwed all over once again, right? And the McConnells of the establishment are saying, okay, we'll oblige. We'll do this for next time and we'll handle it. Like everything's okay, Mr. Nice Guys. No. The progressives are fighting back in the Republican Party.
And you know what? But here's an interesting thought, though, as you brought that up. There is a progressive movement right, which is populist, and there's a progressive movement left, which is like the AOCs, right? So,
Exactly.
if you consider the Trump supporters are progressive right, and the AOC, Bernie Sanders, who, totally bought in to the establishment now. So now the Bernie Sanders are now replaced by the AOCs of the world, the extreme socialists. But the progressives are really making noise, and what you're seeing is the establishment in DC itself. You got all these new people and all these new ideas are like, whoa, wait a minute, we're getting destroyed here. And I kind of like it. Again, it's almost like the bowling ball. Even if Trump doesn't get in, right? I don't think it's about Trump. I think just Trump exposed something. I like the bowling ball staying in the washing machine. I want people on their toes. That's what I want. I want DC on its toes thinking, I got to do it right or I'm going to be done. Whether it's legally, whether it's election, I got to do it right or I'm going to be done. I like that idea in DC.
I love that idea in DC, but just notice his cabinet, Biden's cabinet, if he does get in, he's going to everybody who appeases to China. And China, they're going to take over, and they've infiltrated in the United States government. They're taking over our land, Disney World. And it's like, when does this stop? Why don't we go to China and take over China? That ain't happening.
That's what's got Will pissed off is they're taking over Disney World. That's got Will pissed off.
What I mean, they're not taking over Disney World. They own Disney World.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, they own these universities by giving money to these universities. Harvard, $92 million. Right, and they've. What? Go ahead.
Here's the most interesting thing I heard this week, and I just heard it, and maybe you guys didn't hear this, but Mitch McConnell's married to a Chow. I think it was like her last name Chow, who has a sister that's married to some billionaire that's attached to the CCP. And Mitch McConnell got a multi-million-dollar gift personally from this billionaire. A gift, right?
No.
So what is that? So now, like, you got to question everything, right? I mean, with all these ties, even I think it's okay for Democrats to go, hey, you know what? Trump owes $500 million to Russian banks. Okay, let's check that out. Let's make sure that he's not beholden. Let's investigate that. And he got investigated like crazy, right? And we sat back and says, yep, let's see what Mueller brings, and it brought nothing. But isn't it time? Isn't it time to go after the Biden family? And I think, here's what I think. I think Biden, in my personal opinion, if he gets in, it's going to be a Nixon thing where he pardons his son. He's now learned that he can pardon himself. He's like, all right, guys, thanks. See you later. Good luck, Kamala. And it's over for him. He's on the verge of being over if he gets in, I believe. He will not be able to withstand the kind of heat that I think the American public want to bring his way. Not the media. The media will softball it for him. But I think that there's going to be an uprising against the corruption that we see in D.C., and I think you're seeing it now.
Just notice when Nancy Pelosi tried to pass during the summer, the 25th Amendment, that a president can be taken out because of mental disorders. She wasn't doing this for Donald Trump. They knew they were going to cheat. They had it rigged already. They knew it's for Biden, and that's what they want to do. And they're exposing Biden right now, and they're saying, look, no, this is what's going on. And the public is saying, wait a minute, why didn't we hear about this before the election? Right? And the people are starting to wake up on the other side. Right? They're starting to wake up by the side, but he'll never become president. Donald Trump will be inaugurated. Go ahead.
All right, so Willie still thinks he's not getting inaugurated. Devie, you want to say
100%.
Yeah, I was
no
just going to
doubt
say
whatsoever.
I was just going to say it goes back to one of the things. I don't believe that the American people wanted Biden. I think the elites, like you call them, Scott, they wanted Biden because they felt he was the better person that could go against Trump. I don't think this whole thing was about Biden winning. I think it was about getting Trump out. So to you guys' point, yes, all this was done against Trump. So I think they have another agenda, who they actually want to be in there, or they can But I think Joe is not mentally fit
let me say
to
this.
be president.
That's the problem with the Democratic Party. They capitalize on ill-informed, uneducated individuals that vote for Biden for whatever reason, whatever candidate they put out there. Right?
I think both sides
because
do that.
They don't know. They don't know the facts. They don't know the issues. But yet they're going to vote because they hate Trump. Just notice they hate Trump.
All right. Good sections. All right. So I got speed round. We're going to do something brand new here on the show today. I've got 10 topics here on my phone. I've done some homework here, and we're going to go speed round. Everybody can weigh in for about 15 seconds. You can't go like monologue on this thing. Ready? Topic number 10. Favorite barbecue dish and favorite barbecue joint. I'll go first. There's a place called Little Miss in Arizona. Me and Willie would fly there, and before we got our hotels, we'd go there for an hour and 15 minute line to get this thing. And when they ran out of food, they ran out of food. It was really good. Brisket, my favorite there.
Mission Barbecue. I love their chopped brisket and the the sweet or Smoky Mountain sauce.
Okay,
that's it.
Gosh, I can't remember the place name in Atlanta, but Atlanta's got some good barbecue. I think it rivals the stuff in Memphis. So, I can't remember. I got to look up the name. Wow.
Right. What's your favorite dish there?
Oh, beef ribs. Beef
ribs, huh? I can't stand beef ribs. I love pork.
Same place as Scott, Little Miss Barbecue. We would fly down to Arizona, and the first thing that we did is go get our coffee from Starbucks, go to Little Miss, and get in line, okay? And that line, before they open up, right, it's around the corner, and it's barbecue ribs.
Okay.
A whole... the whole thing. What's it called?
Man, Mr.
The whole
Monologue, Mr. Willie Monologue. That's your new name.
Whole slab of ribs.
Sounds great. Okay, it's over. 7. I'm going topic. Cleveland Indians. No more Cleveland Indians. The ideology, politics, or whatever you want to call it, killed the name. No more Cleveland Indians. How you guys feel about it?
I think we should go with the Cleveland baseball team.
The Cleveland baseball team.
I think we should rename every team in every league.
There you go.
Blank. Yeah, you got it.
Just give them all colors. The Chicago Blues, the San Francisco Aquas.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Do away with the name. Yeah, because the Indian was a derogatory term anyway. There was no Indian.
Oh, sure. Yeah, anyway, nobody calls themselves an Indian.
Not the natives. Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, go ahead.
Well,
they're trying to erase history. It's something that
no monologue.
2020, right? That's just it.
Right. All right. Thank you, Will.
Sweet Auburn barbecue. Wow. Sweet Auburn barbecue.
Hey, Tom Cruise was on set this week. I don't know if you guys heard this. If you want to Google or go to YouTube and search Tom Cruise tantrum, you can hear Tom Cruise laying it out for the staff. And he was actually I invite everybody to go check this out somewhere. He reamed out his whole staff on set for Mission Impossible 7 because they weren't social distancing. It's bananas, guys. You got to hear it.
I'm going to give Tom a pass, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm sympathizing with him. He's the producer on this movie. He's got a budget of $200 million, and he was stressed, and he just lost it. I'm giving him a pass.
Wow. I listened to that thing. I don't know if you heard it, but I thought he was a little baby.
I did. I heard it.
Okay.
That's how I feel on some real estate deals sometimes.
I heard it. I think the way he handled it, BITCH.
Yeah.
I'm not up on it, so I have no comment.
All right. Good stuff. All right. So next topic. I love this one. City of San Francisco, 44 high schools are dropping their names, including George Washington High School, Herbert Hoover High School, Thomas Edison High School. They're all dropping the names. And here's the best one. Abraham Lincoln High School they're dropping Abraham Lincoln from the school because, here's the reason, did not prove that he believed that Black lives mattered enough. He didn't prove enough that he believed Black lives matter by abolishing slavery. What's your guys' take on it?
I think that's going too far. I think they're going far in this coming from a black man. And if we're talking about Confederate type guys, but presidents, no, I think that's going too far.
I'm utterly speechless. I can't even respond to that. It's so stupid. Come on, folks. Come on, man.
Come on,
Sorry.
man.
Come on, man. Hey,
Come on,
Here's what
man.
I got to say. The aliens that are invading our universe are living in San Francisco. Pelosi, Kamala. All right, they all reside in San Francisco.
All right. Okay. All right. So COVID vaccines. Who gets credit? Biden or Trump?
Trump. Right?
Trump.
It's amazing. The media said it's impossible. They ran with it, and he proved them all wrong once again.
Can we go with Fauci? Can we give Fauci credit?
That's an alien also.
Okay.
All right. Next topic. All right. The January 6th dispute day. You got to have one congressperson and one senator dispute the Electoral College elections. They go into 2-hour debate, then they have to vote, and it can be handed to Pence that can actually declare a winner. Can declare that they get to vote. The delegates of states get to vote, and it's one vote per state. Okay, so January 6th, you think it's going to be disputed? Who do you think's going? Who do you got disputing?
If it happens, it'll be Brooks and either Loeffler or Paul. But I don't think it's going to happen. Wow. But I will have my popcorn out.
I think it will happen, to be honest with you, and I think it's going to be Rand Paul or Ron Johnson, and definitely Brooks. He's already said he's going to do it.
I believe it's going to happen. Everybody that you just said, and the senator from Missouri, I forgot his name, but he's going to be on it also.
Okay.
It'll happen.
The senator from Missouri or the representative?
The senator from Missouri.
Okay. All right, so that's the bell. Next one. China spy and Swalwell. Do you think he should resign?
Yes,
most definitely.
Wait a minute. Resign from Congress or step down from the committee?
Resign altogether.
Or maybe.
Yeah, so maybe it's a yes. He should resign from the committee or step down from committee and not resign. What's your take?
He should definitely be removed from the committee. Resign
Intelligence
from Congress.
Committee for sure.
Yeah. There was Congress. I don't know. It'd be the honorable thing to do, but it ain't going to happen.
I think he should resign. He was the one that was talking about Trump with the Russians, the conspiracy. He was the leader on this along with Schiff, and it proves that he was the one that was compromised all along.
Devie, man, Devie's like we're laughing at him, like we're on his track, and he's coming in after the bell every time. I think he should be tar and feathered, to be honest with you, Swalwell, for what he did.
Like this section.
Well, he was on every TV show telling us that the PP tapes were real, and now he's actually part of PP tapes, intimate with Chinese spies. All right, that's all the topics I got. Listen, I thought this was a good show. It moved, man. I like the topic section. I like, but do us a favor. Go to bigdivideshow.com and let us know who your favorite hosts were. I have to tell you, I do have a count. Willie got his first vote for favorite host.
Yeah, way to go, Will.
All right, in second place is second from the bottom, DV with 12. Third, that would be third. In second place is Jay with 25, and Scooty has 30. That's
minus
no
0
after that. I got 3. Sorry. Okay,
hey, Will. FYI, I voted for you, Will.
It took Jay. All right, so guys, thanks for joining us. This was a fun show. Go to bigdivideshow.com. Let us know who your favorite host was. Check out whatever platform you want to watch our show on. Like it. Hit the notifications. Subscribe on everything. Go to the Big Divide on Facebook, but bigdivideshow.com. You can find everything.
Can we actually give Will one real vote? Can we get him one real vote?
I don't need it. Controversy's beautiful.
My vote doesn't
Somebody's
count.
out there got to like you.
Thank you, Jay.
Go to bigdivideshow.com. Thanks for joining us, boys. Thanks for joining me. This was fun. I'll see you guys next week.
This has been The Big Divide. Don't forget to subscribe for your weekly dose of unfiltered and unapologetic conversation.
Done and done.
And of course, share this episode with all of your friends. Well, maybe not the sensitive ones.
You apologize right now.
You have a question, topic, or opinion that you want to hear discussed? Go to bigdivideshow.com and tell us all about it.
Or simply look up Big Divide on Instagram or Facebook and send us a message.